Let's get some more analysis now from Miko Peled. He's a human rights activist, author, and speaker, and he joins me now live from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for being with us on the program, sir. Let me pick up from where Mohammed left off in him talking about the expulsion of Palestinians from the Gaza Strip. What do you make of the rhetoric that we're hearing from various Israeli politicians that are essentially calling for Gazans to be expelled into various countries across the world, particularly Arab countries? Is that what they want to essentially see happen by the end of this conflict?
Well, the rhetoric is, of course, grotesque, but Israel has always wanted to get rid of the Palestinians. This is nothing new. For 75 years, Israel has been engaged in a massive campaign of genocide and ethnic cleansing. I mean, this is not really anything new. It's just that now the reality in Gaza is so extreme, and the world opinion is somehow willing to accept this monstrosity of a rhetoric, these extreme, you know, human rights violations of human rights, these extreme, crimes against humanity, against the Palestinian people, that they're willing to entertain and discuss the dislocation of millions of people from their homes in order to accommodate a government of lunatics that is governing this apartheid state called Israel. This is absolutely grotesque. Now, the fact that Israel wants this is not new. The fact that Israel has been doing everything it can in order to expel Palestinians and kill Palestinians and completely get rid of Palestinians and erase their, their heritage and their history and so forth is nothing new. What is new and unique right now is that the entire world is willing and to participate in this. The entire world is entertaining this, and the names like Tony Blair are coming up as someone who might facilitate this. We're talking about forced expulsion of millions of people out of Palestine. And of course, they say voluntary deportation. They don't want to say the word expel, just like they say they want to get rid of Hamas, where actually what they mean is they want to get rid of the Palestinians. So they know how to, use their words correctly. But
Right.
this is absolutely abhorrent. This is absolutely criminal.
You use the word genocide. Do you think this is what we're seeing happening in Gaza is indeed a genocide? And if you do think so, which from my understanding is you do think a genocide is taking place at this very moment, when do you think, or how long do you think it's going to take for it to officially be declared as a genocide?
Well, South Africa already invoked the Genocide Convention. The genocide has been going on since 1948. If we look at the definition of the crime of genocide, never mind what I think, look at the definition of the crime of genocide as it was defined, and then compare that to what has been going on in Palestine since 1948, the indiscriminate killing of people, the erasure of their monuments in their cities and towns, the changing of the names of cities and towns, not to mention changing the name of the country from Palestine to Israel. We look at that over 75 years, there has been, without any doubt, a genocide taking place in Palestine for 75 years, as the world was watching and doing very little to stop it, or doing nothing to stop it. And now we're seeing a more extreme version of it, a more concentrated version of it in the Gaza Strip. But there's nothing new about this. This has been a genocide for a very long time. Why the world is silent is beyond understanding. Why the world is allowing this is beyond understanding. We're watching this live, and God bless the reporter whose name I apologize I didn't catch, who's reporting from the Gaza Strip right now, putting his own life in danger. But what we're seeing now is mass expulsion and murder of civilians, in broad daylight. So it's a little bit more extreme than what we're used to seeing. But there's no question that this is genocide.
Help me better understand this Zionist mindset and how they justify what's happening in Gaza and in the occupied West Bank, because there is the context that's crucial before October 7 that led us to where we are today. So help me better understand, because you served in the Israeli military as well. So just help me better understand how exactly they justify the actions.
Well, they don't feel they have to justify it to anyone. This is what they want, and they've got the power to get it. That's just the way it is. That's why Israel has always maintained that it always has to have military superiority over its neighbors. Now, very cleverly, they managed to neutralize their neighbors either through normalization or through destruction. And so there's really nobody that can oppose them militarily. although the Palestinian fighters in Gaza are clearly doing a heroic job in defending themselves and defending their people, at a great loss of Israelis. But excuse me. So this is this is what Israel has wanted from the very beginning. The actual idea of a state of Israel in Palestine is genocidal. That's the whole point. It's the claim is their claim is that the Palestine belongs to Jewish people, and they have a right to expel, to kill, to commit genocide, to put in place an apartheid state just because it is theirs, and that's the way it is, and because they have the ability to do it, and because they very cleverly managed to get the world to support them, the international community to support them, and to neutralize anybody who could stand in their way. They have been very successful. But right now we're seeing an extreme expression of this that is absolutely horrifying.
I think we can both agree that there is a war within a war on Gaza in terms of the decades-long occupation that has been ongoing and the siege in Gaza, where Israel can essentially turn on and off the tap whenever it feels necessary. What's going to happen after all of the death and destruction comes to an end? Because there is a lot of talk around what a post-conflict Gaza is going to look like, and I feel like the Palestinians are being left out of that conversation.
Yes, the Palestinians have been left out of the conversation from the very beginning, from 1948. Nobody's consulted the Palestinians, or even before that, since the Balfour Declaration. Nobody's consulted the Palestinians on their own fate and the fate of their country. So again, it's shocking, but it's not new. And what happens the day after? It all depends on what people of conscience and governments of conscience do around the world. I mean, like I said, South Africa, we know, has invoked the Genocide Convention. There have to be severe sanctions against the state of Israel. There has to be every government must stop trade and boycott Israel severely, or else we are going to see this genocide continue, and we're going to look back at the number of 20,000 dead as though this was a small number, because Israel is not going to stop killing unless somebody forces it to stop. And unless governments with a conscience put an end to it, and unless people of conscience around the world demand an end to it and act, we're going to see this, and the Palestinians are the victims. The Palestinians are the ones who are going to be killed. And like you said, nobody even consults them.
All right, Miko Peled, unfortunately, that's all the time I have left, but thank you so much for being with me here on TRT World and sharing that insight with us.
Thank you.